Welcome back to the online course design series, your step-by-step guide to building effective and engaging online courses. Hi again, Dr. Beaker here. Engagement is key to a successful online course. Collaborative learning helps foster that engagement by encouraging students to interact with each other, share diverse perspectives, and feel more connected to the course material and to each other. Collaborative learning is an effective way to make sure your students stay involved, active, and invested in their learning experience. Today, we'll dive into how to create meaningful student-to-student interactions, whether through discussion boards, group projects, or peer reviews. Collaborative learning not only makes your course more engaging, but it also helps deepen understanding, improve retention, and foster a sense of belonging. But these benefits don't happen on their own. It takes thoughtful planning and intentional structure to make sure your collaborative activities truly enhance the learning experience. There are tons of ways you can bring collaborative learning into your course to boost student engagement. The key is making sure these activities are designed to get students actively involved, not just checking off a box. In the Blackboard folder for this lesson, you'll find pre-made rubrics to help structure and assess your collaborative activities effectively. Let's break down 3 common formats and talk about how you can make them work for your course. Discussion boards are great for asynchronous engagement, but they really need to be structured well to keep the conversation going. Here's how you can make them more effective. Set clear expectations for participation by encouraging students to post early in the week. This gives everyone time to engage and reflect rather than just throwing something up at the last minute. Encourage students to respond thoughtfully to each other's posts. Have them ask questions, build on others' ideas, or respectfully challenge opinions. This keeps the discussion alive and more meaningful. Frame discussion questions that ask students to connect the material to their own experiences or to real-world situations. This makes the discussion more engaging and relevant to their lives. To assess this, consider using the standard discussion rubric. You can use this rubric as is or tweak it to fit your activity. It helps you evaluate participation, critical thinking, and the clarity of students' posts. By using a rubric like this, you can create clear expectations, which leads to better engagement and more meaningful contributions from students. Group projects let students dive into a task together, and they can be incredibly engaging when designed well. Here's how to ensure the interaction is meaningful. Make sure each student has a clear role. When everyone knows what they're responsible for, it keeps everyone accountable and invested. No one should be left in the background. Use a group contract to set expectations. This helps prevent freeloading and ensures each person knows what's expected in terms of contribution. Encourage regular check-ins throughout the project. Weekly updates or discussions about progress help keep everyone on track and allow them to address issues before they become problems. You can use the group project rubric to assess contribution, teamwork, and accountability, which are key to student engagement. Feel free to use this rubric as it is, or modify it to suit the specific needs of your group project. Peer feedback is an awesome way to engage students in reflection and critical thinking, but it's most effective when students know how to give good feedback. Here's how you can make peer reviews work. Set up a rubric or checklist to guide feedback. When students know exactly what to look for, their feedback is more constructive and focused on helping their peers improve. Encourage a growth mindset when it comes to feedback. Make sure students understand the value of both giving and receiving feedback as part of their own learning process. After receiving feedback, ask students to reflect on what they've learned and how they can apply it. This keeps the process of peer review meaningful and impactful for both the reviewer and the student receiving the feedback. Use the peer review rubric to guide the feedback process. If you'd like, you can use this rubric as is or modify it to fit your specific needs. This will ensure that feedback is structured and meaningful, helping students engage with each other's work thoughtfully. Each of these collaborative activities can support different learning outcomes. Depending on how you structure them, they can be either formative or summative. Here's how to think about that. Formative assessments are about practicing skills and building knowledge. These are great for activities like discussions and peer reviews, where students learn by doing and use feedback to improve. Summative assessments are about demonstrating mastery. If your activity is the final piece of a larger project, it could be summative, like when students use everything they've learned in a group project or discussion to show their understanding. When you're planning collaborative learning activities, think about how each one fits into your course's assessment strategy. Are students practicing skills that will help them succeed in future tasks, or are they demonstrating mastery by working together to solve a problem or create something new? By setting clear expectations, guiding your students' interactions, and intentionally designing your activities, you'll create meaningful learning experiences that foster collaboration, engagement, and deeper understanding. To help you design strong student-to-student interactions, we've created the Collaborative Activity Worksheet. This tool will guide you through every step of the collaborative activity, ensuring that it's aligned with your course objectives and fosters meaningful, accessible collaboration. Let's walk through each section using an example from my own course. Start by giving your activity a clear, descriptive title. This is important because it sets the tone for the activity and provides students with an understanding of what to expect. A well-chosen title helps both you and your students stay organized and focused on the activity's goal. Link the activity to a specific learning objective. This step ensures that the activity is purposeful and aligned with your course's goals. By making sure each activity directly supports a measurable objective, you ensure that students understand why they're engaging in the activity and how it contributes to their overall learning. If this activity is formative, describe how it will scaffold toward a future summative assessment. This is important because formative activities should build the skills and knowledge that students will need to demonstrate mastery in summative assessments. Whether it's practice in analysis, collaboration, or application, the formative activity prepares students for future tasks, allowing them to build confidence and refine their skills. Clearly define the purpose of the activity and explain how it directly supports the learning objective. By doing this, you make sure the activity has a clear reason for existing within the course. It helps you stay focused on meaningful engagement and ensures that students see the activity as valuable to their learning journey. Describe how students will interact with each other. Whether it's through a discussion board, group project, or peer review, this section is key for defining the type of collaborative work students will engage in. Collaborative learning builds a sense of community and promotes interaction that enhances both individual and group learning outcomes. Be clear about how the interaction should occur and encourage students to engage thoughtfully with their peers. Provide clear, concise instructions. This step is vital because it removes any ambiguity and sets the expectations for students. Clear instructions ensure that students know exactly what to do, how to participate, and what's expected of them in terms of quality and timing. The more specific you are, the easier it will be for students to engage in the activity effectively and meaningfully. Determine how the activity will be graded. Will you use a rubric, a checklist, or some other method to assess student performance? This is essential for transparency. Clearly explaining the grading criteria helps students understand what they will be evaluated on and how they can succeed in the activity. It also ensures that the evaluation is fair and aligned with the learning goals of the activity. If the activity involves group work, consider whether a group work contract is necessary. A contract clarifies each student's responsibilities and helps prevent freeloading. This step is key for ensuring that all students are held accountable and that responsibilities are clearly defined. It promotes fairness and helps students stay committed to their roles in the activity. Set deadlines for both the initial participation and follow-up interactions, if applicable. Deadlines help students stay organized and ensure that the collaborative process progresses smoothly. Having clear deadlines also allows you to keep track of participation and ensures that students engage with the activity in a timely manner. Estimate how much time students will need to engage with the activity. This helps manage both students and your own workload expectations. Be realistic about how much time it will take students to complete the task and interact meaningfully with their peers. This will help ensure that the activity fits within students' schedules and doesn't feel overwhelming. Think about how this activity accounts for asynchronous participation. Since many online courses rely on asynchronous learning, it's important to design activities that allow flexibility while still ensuring that students can interact meaningfully. This section is important for making sure that all students, regardless of time zone or schedule, have an opportunity to participate. As you design your activity, consider whether there are any accessibility concerns. This includes checking if your materials, videos, images, documents are accessible to all students, including those with disabilities. For example, do you have captions for videos? Is there alt text for images? Even anticipating students who live in different time zones can be more inclusive. By proactively addressing accessibility, you ensure that your activity is inclusive for all students, whether they have formal accommodations or not. By following these steps on the collaborative activity worksheet, you're designing a well-structured and effective activity that is aligned with your course objectives and encourages meaningful student-to-student interaction. This worksheet is a useful tool for making sure that your collaborative activities are purposeful, engaging, and inclusive, and that they contribute to deeper student learning. Let's bring it all together. Collaborative learning isn't just about completing tasks together. It's about creating an engaging learning environment where students connect with the material and with each other. By designing collaborative activities thoughtfully and evaluating them meaningfully, you foster both engagement and deeper learning. As you continue building your course, remember that engaged students are more likely to retain information, stay motivated, and feel a sense of belonging. Use the collaborative activity worksheet to design interactions that matter. Then, use the provided rubrics to keep grading fair and transparent. I'll see you in the next video where we'll continue refining your course design.